Okay, welcome to the Nagual Zone. This is Anaam, and today we are talking about knowledge and its three main attributes. I have talked about this before, but then today we'll break it all down and really make it easy for all of you to understand knowledge, why knowledge is important, why understanding what real knowledge is important, and how to know whether any piece of knowledge or any knowledge you come across is useful for you or not. And you gauge it by these three attributes that I shall explain to you. Now, this recording has just started for you YouTubers, but we have already been discussing in the group, which is present live right now. There has been some discussion already, very interesting discussion has gone on. Well, I've been talking really. So you've missed out on that one. I will pick it up where we left off in a bit. Or I might not, I might forget and just move on to the thread, and then we'll pick it up with the group later on. Someone can remind me. I encourage all YouTubers, all of you, don't depend on YouTube, a free platform. You want free, all you'll get is free. You won't get value. Trust me, you won't. All you'll get is clicking power. I call it clicking power. You know what clicking power is? This makes a warrior out of everyone. It's called a mouse. It's called a mouse for a reason. It makes warriors out of mice. You click this and you become an instant warrior on YouTube. So if you're gonna really fancy yourself to be a warrior or some kind of big balls, then come and attend these master classes. Go to the nagualzone.com and sign up. You will see very quickly exactly where reality is for you and exactly where you think you are. And you'll also see the gap between reality and where you think your feet are. A big crash, reality crash. So if you want a reality crash and you want to actually know where you're really at, come and attend these classes. They're very informative. You get to meet a bunch of lovely people, lots of regulars are in there, and it's a great community. So I encourage you to actually invest in yourself, show your inner child, your subconscious mind, which is the real power behind you, the little you. Prove it that you are worth investing in. Of course, I understand you can invest in many, many different things, but just come for once and just check it out, right? Don't settle for these breadcrumbs that I throw on YouTube. These are edited videos. The real stuff is going on in the groups in the background. There's question and answers afterwards as well. So I highly encourage you to at least come once. Okay, with that, the three attributes of knowledge. We were discussing in the group that there's a big gap in most people between where reality is and where we all think we are. For men, we all think we got 9-inch dicks and 1 kg balls, right? Everyone thinks that. Every man thinks they're just, oh, I got big guns, right? I can rip lines apart with my bare hands. Or you get men who are the exact opposite. Oh, I couldn't even kill an ant if I tried. I'm so weak. You get this. For women, all the women, they're beauty queens. They're drama queens. All the women. It's incredible. Basically, it's to compensate for the gap between reality and where you think you are. All that nonsense is compensation. All the drama. I was watching a YouTube video on, I've been a singing teacher, a singer for decades. And I'm always interested in learning more about the voice. Always, always. I love it. Knowledge, acquiring more true knowledge. And I came across this topic that I typed on, and this video came. And this lady, vocal coach, she knows she's good looking. I I can tell you that this scripted human being, I can tell you what this lady's life is like. She's been to acting school. She knows throughout her life, her parents and her cousins and her uncles and aunties and everyone has told her, oh my God, you're such a little princess. You're so beautiful. Oh, isn't she gorgeous? Oh, so she's grown up with that, right? She's gone to drama school, wanted to be an actress, couldn't make it. So drama school means you also do voice work and, and you can see it in the video, the way she's talking, the way she's presenting herself, that this is just a bunch of programs, scripts running the show. A she peacock, peahen, I think, whatever they call them, right? And I couldn't help but think, imagine going on a date with this lady. She thinks she's the big bollocks. She thinks that she's like this amazing, beautiful vocal coach who can sing so very well and present her videos. Granted that she's a big shot, got 600,000 views on one video, all that. But I was just thinking, wow, imagine going on a date with this one. I would get bored in 5 minutes max because of the falseness, we don't want to force our voice. We want to invite the force from within, right? It's like, oh, cringe, man. Imagine going on a date with this lady. She would be preening herself, thinking, and she would have no idea that the other person, well, at least, some intelligent men might be existing out there who might think, wow, there's nothing else to this woman. Is there anything else to this woman? Or is this just this empty shell of a diva here? You know what it is with that lady? I'll tell you what it is with that lady. Reality is here. She's up here thinking this is where she's at. And all this gap is filled with insecurity, intense insecurity. When that lady looks in the mirror, emotionally, she thinks she's ugly. But so to compensate, there's all of this. I am beautiful. I'm a goddess. I'm beautiful. We ladies deserve. Yeah, it's all, you don't really believe it. Deep down inside, you don't believe what you're saying. But you've repeated it so long to yourself that it's become a program for you. You got to believe it. And that beauty comes from the inside, a kind of settling back in yourself. Hey, I don't need to prove what a diva I am. I don't need to prove that I am this real peacock type, peahen, or whatever, pea-bitch, whatever that I am. Don't need to prove anything to myself. That will come much later in life when she's lost all the beauty, good looks. She's 60 years old, 70 years old, 80 years old. That's when she will gain the real knowledge. All right, knowledge. Now, again, these people are not to be, it's not to be seen as, oh, Anaam's got something against her. No, I'm using her as a caricature, as a example, a copy-paste, factory preset, industrialized example of the millions and millions and millions who behave exactly in the same way. You have met them, I've met them. We all know one of these or two of these or three of these people, right? All right, knowledge. According to the Toltecs, has 3 attributes. The first attribute, very, very important. If you haven't ticked these 3 attributes, then don't waste your time with that knowledge, because it is either one of 2 things. It's you're indulging or you're entertaining yourself. And very often they're one and the same thing, right? So no harm in entertaining yourself. Watch YouTube videos all day on every topic, how to tie a fancy knot with a rope. You'll never need to know that because you've never gone to the forest yet. But why not watch the video? No one cares. But make sure that that's entertainment, right? The first attribute of knowledge. it will always, true knowledge, according to Toltecs, will always come after a battle of attrition between two forces: the knowledge and your ignorance. Your ignorance is an actual force that emanates out of you. How does it look? What is the life evidence of ignorance? Projections. And what are I've made videos on this just recently. What are projections? The one thing projections breed is self-righteousness, which means you think you are right in thinking whatever your viewpoint is, you're projecting, right? So the first attribute of knowledge is the knowledge itself. You come close to it, or you have access to it, or you have come across it, and it crashes against your ignorance. You may have resistance to the knowledge. You may not want to acknowledge your ignorance. You may think you know it already. That's the biggest one in this age. Remember this? Yeah. Click, 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 click. I know everything. Why? Because I'm a clicking master. I know everything because I can click. Right? So that's the biggest one at the moment, or in this age, especially since keyboard warriors have become a thing, actual thing. People really think they know something just because they've done this with their main finger, just going click, click, click. A battle of attrition between knowledge and your ignorance, and knowledge must win out. If you dig your heels in and feel like your ignorance must win out, according to all the reasons I just outlined, I know it already. How boring. That's another one. Oh, boring. If you think that, if you belittle the knowledge that's coming to you by justifying your ignorance, absolutely, you've just missed a cubic centimeter of chance to gain personal power. There's no doubt about that. Now, the real battle of attrition starts when you accept the knowledge. You humble out, you say, you know, I really don't know anything. I thought I did. I thought I was Mr. Big Balls, but really, I don't know anything. There's always scope for me to learn. I can always improve. Please show me what I can learn here. Now you have the right attitude. Now the attrition starts between repetition, so that you can acquire that knowledge. So a lot of repetition. Sometimes the better the quality of knowledge, the more the repetitions, not sometimes, every time. The better the quality of knowledge, the more repetitions you'll have to put in. I am well used to, and if you think you're a warrior, gauge yourself with this, what I'm going to say. I'm personally well used to repeating for even a little bit of knowledge, tiny 1 inch of gain of knowledge, repeating at least for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years is normal for me. 5 years. Yeah, I didn't say 5 months. I didn't say 5 minutes or 5 weeks. I said 5 years. Plenty of times in my life, I have just dug the trenches for that one piece somewhere that can be extracted out of knowledge. I've given plenty of examples from my singing, from this, from that in the past, right? So that battle of attrition, knowledge is not going to come to you because you're some kind of click master. You have to go to knowledge. You have to seek it out like a hound nose to the ground and seeks out the bones or whatever, the interesting things in the. You have to seek it out. You have to be humble enough to say, I love to learn. I don't know anything really. Let me go and see what's the next bit of empowerment, bit of personal power I can acquire, right? And then be ready for a battle of attrition. Those repetitions, and you get fed up, and you'll go beyond the fed upness. You keep going and you'll keep going. You'll get fed up again. You'll drop many layers. And eventually the gate will open to you and you will come out the other side the better for all of that work, right? Battle of attrition. Always remember that. If you haven't paid for it in time, energy, and what I call blood, sweat, and tears for even a little bit of knowledge, then that knowledge doesn't have as much value as you may think it does. Okay, so the application. All right. Knowledge, the second attribute of knowledge, this is the one that kills a lot of seekers. This is the single main reason why every single apprentice that has left, at least in my teaching time, they've left because of this. And the apprentices who have stayed because of this. And this point is, knowledge never comes as one expects it to. Not sometime, not never comes as one expects it to. You think you're going to learn something, it will never come as you expect it to. And in terms of my apprentices, those who were able to adapt their expectations to the way that it is coming to them and then get busy applying it, they've done well. They have evidence. We only work on life evidence. I'm not interested in reports of good news. I don't give a shit about good news. I want life evidence. And there's plenty of life evidence in all the apprentices' lives to say that they have changed and gained more because they have adapted their expectations to the way the knowledge is coming to them. Those who were not able to adapt their expectations, they walk away. There are some exceptions. Okay, maybe I was exaggerating. There's a couple of exceptions where, some unforeseen circumstances happened and then they had to leave. That's fine. But almost always you will find that. So what you need to do is, whenever you are seeking knowledge out, you've got to suspend all your expectations. I didn't say suspend your discernment. I said suspend your expectations. Replace them with what? Can you guess? The idea, the criteria, the question, is it useful? Just that simple. You don't need to go about agreeing with the knowledge, believing the knowledge, and trying to figure out, is it true or false? You don't have to do all that. You save all that energy. Simply ask, I have no expectations. Is this useful? If it is useful for your agendas, for your definition of training for you, then where's the problem? Why are you not going full on with it, right? So don't fall into that trap that knowledge will come as you expect it to. That's another symptom of the sun rises because I wake up. No, knowledge doesn't owe you anything. What does knowledge owe you? What have you done? What have you done in your life? Well, what big shot are you? Knowledge owes you. Just knowledge will come crawling, begging, master, master, have me. What? You got to go and seek it out. You got to bust your balls to seek it out. You got to spend money, invest money rather. You've got to prove it to yourself that you're serious. It's not a game, is it? It's not a game. It's not a freaking clicking game, is it? You've been brainwashed into thinking that you do this bullshit and you gain knowledge. What the fuck is all that about? You prove to yourself that you are serious by doing the repetitions. 5 years. Let's see you do it. You think you're a big shot? Yeah, get with it. Get on with it then. Right? So knowledge, recapping. The first one is, it is acquired after a battle of attrition. First, between your ignorance and the knowledge itself. Secondly, the repetitions, the attrition of repetitions, right? Secondly, it'll never come as you expect it to. So don't waste your time expecting whatever swims around in your head. Thirdly, and the most important one, according to the Toltecs, according to the warriors, according to the way I was trained, and I was trained rigorously in this one, really. Knowledge, let me read out the notes I wrote. All knowledge must have one inevitable result, or it cannot be considered true knowledge. It must result in actual change and evolution, of which life evidence is the only true gauge. These are words from, eventually this book will come out. I'll title it the Toltec Workbook. That's it. And it won't be philosophies and fancy. It'll be a workbook. You get to work, literally. It's a workbook. It's to be applied, right? This is part of that. I'll read it again. All knowledge must have one inevitable result, or it cannot be considered true knowledge. It must result in actual change and evolution, of which life evidence is the only true gauge. This will never give you life evidence. Those repetitions I was talking about, 5 years, yeah, you bet your bottom dollar that will give you plenty of life evidence of evolution and change. I guarantee it. That's how it works. That's how it works, right? So these are the 3 attributes of knowledge. Very, very important. If any knowledge any course you're doing, or whatever knowledge that is pertinent to you, it does not tick these 3 boxes, 3, 4, 3, then it's time for self-examination. Examine yourself. Examining the knowledge may or may not work. Examine yourself. The first one, to recap, it is always acquired after a battle of attrition. Second one, it never comes as one expects it to. And thirdly, it must have one inevitable result, which is life evidence of change. Now, there is a bonus point I want to talk about. It's the 4th hidden attribute. That's the one that I only discuss with my apprentices, but I'll reveal it here. Not to the YouTubers, but after the video is done, to all of us, the live people, in the questions and answers, I will reveal that. So this is another incentive. You better be coming to these meetings if you would like to hear the rest of the stuff. On that note, walk in freedom, and I'll see you next Sunday.